not in a meeting, it's not in a meeting.
Right. You want to talk, go on outside and talk.
You can talk in here if you want. Shut up.
We're not gonna do that in here today. I'll put everybody out of here, okay?
Listen,
Not gonna be disrespectful. Excuse me, just saying, anybody gonna be disrespectful?
hold on. Let me get everybody's attention. Listen. Everybody has a right to be here. Everybody has a right to be heard. We understand the importance of this. I believe that we can do this in a peaceful way, right? And I believe we can do this in an orderly way. So we're going to do that, okay? I appreciate you. Yeah, it was.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We should get started here shortly. Mr. Stokes is here.
Give me a little ride here.
No. You don't talk to me.
Call to order this meeting, a special meeting of City Council, April 1, 2023, 10 in the morning. Appreciate everyone's attendance. Any introductions to any council members? If not, if the clerk could put item 1 on the floor.
Order authorizing the mayor to execute the contract and the documents with Richards Disposal, Inc. to provide solid waste collection and hauling services for a 6-year term commencing April 1st, 2023, with 4 one-year extension options.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there a presentation of this that the administration wants to make at this time?
President Flip Torrey Martin on behalf of the Office of the City Attorney. This is a contract of Richards Disposal. It is a result of our RFP. If you look at the order that is on the agenda for today, that order goes through the history that we've gone through since September of 2020. We've had 3 RFPs thus far. The first RFP, the prices that came back were so expensive that the administration made the determination to extend that contract for 1 additional year. Then we did a second RFP. The result of that second RFP was a recommendation for a contract with FCC. That contract was presented to the City Council at 2 different meetings, on August 9th, 2021 and on August 19th, 2021. And at that time, the City Council voted those contracts down. This is the 3rd RFP that we have done for this service. And the RFP was issued in October of 21, and this contract first came to the City Council in January of 22. This is a result of an RFP process which is statutorily required pursuant to 31713R, and the highest rated vendor for a twice-a-week service with a cart is Richards Disposal. We have negotiated this contract on 2 separate occasions. After the initial contract was brought to the City Council expressed interest in us removing additional carts from the contract. We went back to Richards Disposal and we negotiated that option, and we removed those additional carts from the contract. In addition, at that time, we confirmed that the contract would allow city constituents that if they were not interested in having a cart, that they would have the opportunity to use their own garbage cans. And so that is included in this agreement. That was the first negotiation that we went back to Richards with after the first vote on this contract. The second negotiation that we had on this contract was based on a conversation with Councilman Banks, and it was at the request of illegal dumping sites and additional dump trucks. And you will see that modification in this contract. And those are the modifications that have occurred up to this point. The only other changes in this agreement is that we have changed the dates to make sure that it aligns with a 6-year agreement with 4 one-year options, which is what we included in our RFP.
Can you tell me who the subcontractors are?
I would actually defer to Richards. I think Deidre is here. I'm going to defer to Deidre, who can speak on behalf of Richards Disposal.
The contract didn't call for us to have subcontractors. We get to have EVO participation. And we did fill out the forms for EVO participation. For the woman contractor, we have Cascade, the carts, who's the cart. For the staffing service, we have Cabildo Staffing. And for, that was the Hispanic. And for the African American, we had Expert Professional Solutions for the IT stuff.
So the contract, on page 33, it says that you identify all your subcontractors.
We don't have a subcontractor. It said they have to have some.
So, Tori Martin, give her out to the city attorney. That is standard language that we include in all city contracts. So in every city contract, we require that if a vendor is using a subcontractor, that they provide us with a list of subcontractors at the time that they execute the contract.
Mr. Banks and then you speak. I'm sorry.
My name is Deidre Jones.
Okay. Mr. Banks?
Yeah, Ms. Jones, why is the IT company, and what does the IT company have to do with garbage?
We have to have computers, we have to have software, we have to meet the computer requirements. All of our trucks have to be staffed with the third eye cameras. We have to download the software in case they have an accident, or we have to say that we look at a resident's address, we can prove that we were there. So we need IT to make sure that all our software and our trucks are working with our computers, and then all the reporters can get done, so we can report it back to the council for the required monthly reporting.
And how much is the IT portion of the contract?
IT was for, it's a percentage, 6.78%.
And at any time, starting July 1, there can be an increase to this contract, correct?
That's incorrect. The contract, actually, if you look at the contract, every contract we've done for solid waste services has included a CPI increase, and that is very standard in that industry. And so every solid waste contract we have had has reflected that you will have a CPI increase. One of the changes, when I said that we changed dates, one of the dates that we changed was that it would not be this July. In the original contract that was supposed to start on April 1st of 2022, it said July of 2023. One of the modifications that we made to this agreement is that it does not start until July of 2024. So that CPI increase will be based on CPI, and it is actually, we negotiated a maximum of 5%, so it'll be between 3 and 5%, and in the past, we have not been able to negotiate a maximum percentage on CPI.
So
we were able to negotiate that.
Are we sure that the CPI that is presented now is in current standard with current gas prices?
I don't think
It's a CPI based on when this was proposed.
So let me make sure I understand your question, because CPI is actually something that the government comes up with.
I understand.
So the percentage is based on whatever the government decides at that
Gas
time.
prices have gone up.
Correct.
Okay.
So it's based on the government at that time. So like when we were negotiating this agreement for last year, for April of 2022, it would have been based on what the CPI, and I don't know if people understand consumer price index, but that's what we're talking about, is consumer price index. So the consumer price index is not something that the city sets. All we can say
I didn't
is
say anything about the city side. I just want to state something for the record there.
So at the time when we were negotiating this agreement, we were grateful to have a cap of 5%, because at the time, the CPI for solid waste collection was over 10%.
July 1st, the price could go up.
No, not until July of 2024.
July 1st of 2024.
July 1st of 2024, based on CPI, which is the exact same thing that was happening in every prior solid waste agreement that we had up to this point.
It can go up by any vendor that
Okay.
gets it. Every contract that I get, that Waste Management gets it, or FCC gets it, you will have a CPI increase. In your contract also says it could go increase or decrease, based on the government contract. So it can be.
Please let's have order in the chambers. Any other questions?
No.
Okay, Mr. Stokes?
Thank you. Mr. President, what is what's the COVID status? I'm concerned about, I can't get sick, and I don't want to get anyone else sick. What's the COVID status, and what's the standing room only in this chamber. What's the standards we going through right now?
Oh, the occupancy, you mean?
COVID, number one is COVID. We have the COVID standard, did we remove it?
I'm not sure.
Call it down.
Did we remove it, Mr. President?
No.
We did not.
No, we have not been operating under any COVID standards to remove
Okay, so
individuals from the
what's the
chamber.
occupancy of the chamber? What's the standards for that?
And I'm not sure. I would defer to the council clerk for that information.
Shanika Hart, clerk of council. I think the standard is posted on the wall. I think it's 90, if I'm not mistaken.
Mr. President, we need enforcement of those standards.
All right, thank you, Mr. Martin.
Yes, Attorney Martin. How many times have Richard's disposal been brought before this council?
For approval of a contract? Just off the top of my head, I can think of at least 3 instances. The last contract that was negotiated on this one for the RFP never came to the city council. I think the city council at that time hired independent counsel. The city council hired ward counsel to do an independent evaluation of the RFP. And so that's the reason why this last version of this contract did not come to the city council.
So you're stating for the record that Richard's disposal had been brought to a vote before this council 3 times.
I will say in different variations, because the contract has been modified each time it came to this council.
Let me speak to that as well. In addition to an emergency, one of the occasions in which it was attempted to be called up and voted down twice, it was presented by the city council. Justice Dickinson, the Supreme Court, without any appeal, have all been very clear that the only person who can present a contract is the mayor. And so if the council put it on the agenda and then voted it down, and if that's a part of your equation that you're asking the question, yes, for the record, it was presented, but it wasn't presented in a legally sufficient way, and it wasn't presented by the mayor, and therefore it does not apply for the rule in which you're trying to invoke.
Well, I'm simply asking, how many times has this body had an opportunity to vote on Richard's disposal? Because every last one of those times, it was voted down. And Attorney Martin, could you get me that information, please?
That don't make it right.
You're ignoring what every court has said on this. You're ignoring on that, and so I am going to make certain, for the benefit of the people in this room, that they aren't confused by that fact. And so that's why I'm making it clear.
Well, I certainly appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm not going to belabor this. As I mentioned the other day in my statement, this is all by design. Okay? It's
Yeah, it's by design.
Design. Electronics, everything.
Mr. Zelbeck.
Yes. What they're doing is is by design. And so I look at these people every single day. They get up every single day, these green and blue shirts, happy not only to have a job, but also to be able to come to our houses and pick up our waste and take it away to help keep our communities clean.
That's right.
They do something every single day. Well, most of us, we want to take the garbage out of our house, let alone away from our house. But when I look at this young man right here, step forward, Dan. I saw him in these chambers the other day. He's a former student of mine. I don't know these other people, but I know this young man right here, and I know where he comes from. And he lives in Stokes' ward. And it hurts me to tell you that today you're going to lose your job. And it's not because of me. And what your options are, young man, beyond this point, I don't know. But I'm going to pray for you because I know what it took to get you out of high school and what it took to get you to this point. That's for all of you. This is going to come to an end today. And I don't see it being a desirable end, because most of my ward is not gonna get garbage picked up today either. But I just want you to know that most of us, or several of us, we tried.
Yeah.
God bless each and every one of you. Let's go ahead and do this.
Mr. Snow.
Because to simply ask is not gonna happen. I so move that we follow the rules, how many people should be in the council chambers.
It's 75 people. It's 75 people in the chamber.
Follow the law. Follow the law.
You're not gonna be quiet.
Capacity of 90. With council.
Point of order. If anybody speaks in the chambers, they need to be recognized by the chair. Let's do this.
Otherwise, we're gonna not have a motion. I need a second, but I don't have a second.
Second.
Got a motion and a second.
We did our job, bro.
Any discussion on the motion? If not,
Mr. Wood, I couldn't really hear the motion.
okay. Can you restate the motion, Mr.
The motion
Snow?
is that we follow the law as to how many people be in the council chamber and the quorum of the people in the council chamber. Anyone violating of those rules, they're out of the chamber. That's my motion, so moved.
Chief Griselle, there, can you make sure, and you can give us what the numbers are?
Deputy Chief Vincent Griselle, according to Miss, I'm sorry.
Ms. Miles.
I'm gonna call her Jordan, yeah. She says 90, Ralph County, 75 in here at the moment without county council, but there's 75 visitors in here now.
So we got 75 including everybody.
75 including everybody, and the capacity is 90.
Even in the hallway.
Always visitors. It doesn't. It's a chamber only.
You have to shut the
Don't
door.
worry about the hallway.
Yeah, you can't from there all the
You
way.
have to shut the door.
Yes, sir.
Let me say
The
this.
door must be shut.
Okay. No.
Clear.
Doors must be shut.
The monitor's not working outside for the ones outside.
Doors must be shut. Now that's.
It is not a requirement.
That's what first motion. Now, Mr. President, if I make a motion,
All right,
if I make a motion about the mayor disrupting this meeting, I make that motion too. This is council meeting.
right.
By design.
Doors must be shut.
By design.
It's not even there, it's charged. Not you.
Doors must be
Do
shut.
not shut the doors.
Mr. President, I have a motion.
So we got a motion, we got a second. Any other questions about the motion? Do you understand it now?
Did he make it a second?
This is why the city of Jackson is in
This is the first
this meeting right now.
This is the first motion.
Disrespect.
Okay. So, all in favor of that motion? All against? Motion fails, 2-3, I guess I abstain. Let's move to your second motion, Mr. Stokes. You have another motion?
Yes, sir, we can move on.
Okay. Any other questions that the council members have about the contract? If not, I guess we're ready to vote then. Any other comments that the council members want to make about it?
Got some amendments, Mr. President.
Amendments, okay, Mr. Stokes?
Thank you.
I do, if I may say this, I don't know what the amendments are, but if it is an amendment that requires a negotiation, then we would have to confer with the vendor whether they accept that particular term. And so I don't know if that requires that we have some type of executive session, or I just wanted to make that clear.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
In this contract, think Councilman Banks stated to someone that we should have ahead of time, but the first motion I'm gonna make, if you can talk what page it's on legal, is that we remove Richards and put in waste management.
Second.
President, clear my mind.
Is there a motion and a second, Ms. Martin?
So I do want to at this time refer the city council to the opinion that was received by both the council and the mayor of Justice Dickinson. In that opinion, Justice Dickinson made it clear that the city council does not have the legal authority to present a vendor to itself. And neither the city council nor the mayor appealed that opinion. In addition, in the opinion that was received from Judge Roberts, in the Supreme Court's opinion, the Supreme Court also stated that the city council does not have that authority. And so if the city council chooses to move forward on this motion, I do want you to know that you're moving forward without legal sufficiency.
Mr. President,
Mr. Stokes?
we have the authority to amend anything come from this body. And I have a motion on the floor.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. All in favor of this amendment? All opposed? Motion passes. Member fails 2 to 4 and with 1 abstention. Okay. Next amendment, Mr. Stokes.
That's my amendment.
Okay, all right. So if there are any other amendments suggested, not, let's move on to the vote on the contract. All in favor of the contract? All opposed to the contract? So,
I abstain, Mr. President.
okay. It's 3, and 1, the motion fails.
Motion fails.
Meeting is.
This is what contract steering looks like, people.
Who do you serve? Yeah. Who do you serve? We don't serve free. Y'all serve free. Y'all is working with the mayor. Y'all trash big people. Now, we already know what to take out trash.
Mayor, you have done your job. You have done your job.
We voted y'all legal. The whole nation is looking bad down. Drags around because y'all can't get together. Because y'all don't know how to work together with that man. We all one we all one city. So we bring out trash to y'all. What you gonna do? Y'all need to stop talking trash about the mayor and work together. We voted y'all in.
So, Kevin, don't take this out.
We need to work together. Y'all showing me now.
Listen, I just want to say this. I want to thank everybody for being here.
Yes, right.
I want to let you know that we're not going to stop fighting.
That's right, right.
There is an opportunity that we can present this again because it failed for lack of a majority, right? We're going to discuss what our options are. I wish I could tell you that you're not going to have interruption in your service. I wish I could tell all of these people that have been working hard for us that we have security for you.
Yes, sir.
The only thing I can pledge to you is that I'm going to continue to fight for you, okay? That's the only thing I pledge to you, and I will continue that until the end, okay?
Next